Welcome to Movie Pixel. Today we're taking a closer look at the brand new 4K UHD version of Twister, in the German edition by Turbine Medien. This film, which amazed us with its stormy spectacle in the mid-90s, is back. But how good is this new release? Let's find out.
I can't believe you did it.
Take a peek!
No, I
You
don't
can
want
really
to!
feel it with a telephoto lens!
No!
Twister was released in 1996, directed by John de Bont, and quickly became one of the most technically impressive films of its time. But how did de Bont come to direct this film? He originally started his career as a cinematographer, working on films like Die Hard and Basic Instinct, before making his directorial debut with Speed, 1994. Although de Bont proved with Twister and Speed that he could deliver major blockbuster cinema, his directorial career remained relatively limited, as his later films, such as Speed 2 and Tomb Raider 2, failed to match his earlier successes. Nonetheless, Twister remains one of his most well-known works, remembered particularly for its groundbreaking special effects and gripping action sequences that still hold up today. Well, except for that one shot. Personally, this film has stayed with me over the years. Back in 1996, seeing Twister was an unforgettable experience. Just to remind you, back then there was no TikTok, and we in Germany had never experienced tornadoes. So as 13-year-olds, we went to the cinema, and it was simply mind-blowing. Looking back, one thing is clear to me. Twister is the epitome of an entertaining blockbuster. Unlike today's disaster films, which often rely solely on dark destruction scenes, Twister balances thrilling action with plenty of humorous moments and genuinely likable characters. The music by Mark Mancina further emphasizes this. In many ways, it feels like an adventurous family film. I always compare it to Independence Day, where David Arnold's score also provides a fantastic, hummable adventure theme. Music plays such a crucial role, and sadly, modern blockbusters often lack memorable themes and relatable characters. The heart of any 4K re-release is, of course, the picture quality. Compared to the Blu-ray, the UHD version of Twister offers stunning details and colors. Thankfully, the film grain has been preserved, giving it a beautiful 35mm celluloid transfer feel. Thanks to HDR, the storms look even more menacing. The contrast between the dark clouds and flashing lightning reflections is a true highlight. So the image quality is fantastic. In direct comparison with the 2009 Blu-ray, the improvement in detail sharpness and colors is striking. Back then, the film grain was heavily reduced, resulting in a softer image. A few years ago, Turbine released a new Blu-ray with a fresh film scan. This version was the complete opposite, featuring almost too much film grain and noise, but offering slightly better sharpness. The new UHD strikes a perfect balance. It looks incredibly natural, with vibrant colors and strong contrast. Simply fantastic. You may have noticed that John de Bont made a slight change. In the early scene where Bill Paxton looks at the sky and says, "It's going green," the sky and the image were never actually green. Back then, it wasn't technically possible. De Bont wanted to correct this now. And while it's an interesting touch, the following minutes are noticeably darker. I personally would have preferred a subtler approach. But perhaps that's just how dark it gets when the sky turns green. As I already mentioned, the VFX still hold up today. Of course, they have aged a bit, but similar to Jurassic Park, they still work well because not everything was computer generated. For example, that truck was real, albeit on a smaller scale, but the impact and explosion were entirely practical. This blend of CGI and practical effects is what makes these films still look great today. The new audio mix does not disappoint. The Dolby Atmos track makes the experience even more immersive. The roaring storms and Mark Mancina's iconic score bring the storm right into your living room. This is home cinema at its finest. Truly reference quality. The extras include many well-known features from previous DVD and Blu-ray releases. However, there's also a brand new featurette, where the director himself shares some fascinating behind-the-scenes stories. At 15 minutes long, it provides some nice insights, and it's great to hear John de Bont personally discussing what is arguably his best film. It would have been nice to see more people involved in the discussion, but unfortunately, key cast members like Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman are no longer with us. In summary, the 4K UHD version of Twister offers the best home cinema experience the film has ever had. The improved picture and sound quality take it to a whole new level, making this edition a must-have for fans. So fire up your Blu-ray player and get ready to be swept away by the storm. Did Twister leave an impression on you back in the day? Let us know in the comments. See you next time.
It's a wonder of nature, baby.